Welcome again, our pastor, Mack Evans.
Well, this is number 3 on this study. We talked about making your life count. What is your life? Go ahead. Does it count for anything? And then we talked about a breakthrough last week. This is breakthrough number 3. God spoke to Joshua and he told him to observe always, never let it depart from you, the law or the word. And he said, if you do that, you will prosper wherever you go, and not to let the word depart from your mouth, meditate on it day and night, and you will make your way prosperous and have good success. Now, breakthrough. That's a sudden burst of energy that allows you to break through a line of defense. And you better be sure to understand. There are forces out there that would like to keep you as a child of God contained in a small space in your life. 2 things you need to understand. Now listen closely to these 2 things. What happens in your mind will happen in time. And what you visualize, you will realize. People who have a breakthrough and become highly successful in life in whatever they do, they're not born, they're made. And usually they become what's known as a self-made man or woman. The only person who has a right to decide what you're going to do with your life is you. Don't give anybody else that right. Whatever you call success or whatever you call a breakthrough in your life, it's always going to be measured by what you accomplish, your accomplishments. Every person listening to me, you have a body, you have a brain, you have a nervous system, and you have an awesome mental capability. There's no limit to what you can do. It's a shame and a disgrace that we do not develop our natural God-given abilities. We settle for so much less than what God would have us to be. Many people are just not willing to pay the price of success. And I wondered about that statement when I wrote it down, because really paying the price means reward. So they're not willing to pay the price of the reward of their success. 2 words, remember them. You can. You places the responsibility. It's you. The can reveals the possibility. And together they produce success and reward. You can. Now the Chinese have an old proverb that says the journey of 1,000 leagues begins with the first step. You can't go anywhere until you take the first step. I'm going to give you 6 of the first steps you need to take if you are ever going to be a success in anything you do. You need these 6 things in your life. Now, if you're looking for a breakthrough in your finances, in your family, in your health, you still need to do these 6 things. Number 1, you must become self-motivated to achieve your goal. Self-motivated. I have spent my life studying people. What makes them tick? What makes some people act the way they act and do the things that they do? I've tried to figure it out. Why do some people reach for the stars and others just grovel in the ruts of life, limited by the length of their chain, tied down? A rut, by the way, is nothing but a grave with both ends kicked out. You're already dead, you just don't know it yet. The only answer as to why some people reach high and accomplish so much is one word: motivation. Motivation. Motivation is the action taken towards a purpose or a goal. You can't train yourself to be motivated. Training is learning how to do something. You know how to do the things that you do because somewhere along the line you learned how to do that. Now, some people can do a lot of things that I can't do. I am not mechanically inclined. I can do a few things, but there's some people just look at something and just know how to fix it. I can take something apart and wind up with a whole bucket full of parts I have to throw away. Don't know where they went. Why are you laughing? Some of you have the same problem, huh? You know how to do things. Motivation is the drive to make you do what you already know how to do. You just know it. You know how to do it. You just don't do it. So the first step is you've got to take responsibility to be self-motivated. Step number 2, you must set goals. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to know when you get there? A lot of people have no goals. And I told you last week, people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they spend trying to determine what they're going to do and accomplish with their life. That's ridiculous. It's fascinating to me that the majority of people who live in this great land of opportunity have no goals. We have people walking hundreds of miles, crossing the border, thousands of them every day, hundreds of thousands every week, some of them walking as much as 1,500 miles to get to this land of opportunity. So they will have an opportunity to do something with their life, have a job, earn their own way. And we have people in this country, born in this country, who just do not take the opportunities that's made available in this land of opportunity. Let me ask you some questions. What do you want? Where are you going? What are your goals? And what do you plan to do with your life? Questions. I can't answer them for you. The fact is, a lot of people just do not know what they want to do with their life. I heard someone make this statement, they are wandering generalities. Aristotle said, man is a goal-seeking creature. His life only has meaning as he is striving for goals. So many people are riding the merry-go-round of life. Thing about a merry-go-round, you always get off where you got on. Write down your goals. Do you have a goal? Do you have a plan for your life? What do you want to accomplish? If you do not have defined, written down goals, it's easy to lose your motivation. It's not easy to put your goals on paper. Make a list. I told you last week, Joe and I have a list every day. We follow the list. The list rules our life. These are things we have to accomplish. If you write down, I want to be successful, that's a generality. It doesn't mean anything. Define what being successful means to you. What accomplishments do you want to make? What rewards do you want to enjoy? What do you plan to do? When you have goals written down, you always know what to do next. When you have your list, you always know what's coming up next. As you mark off one, you've got another one. You know what you're doing. That written down goals motivates action. Now, you've got to remember this. Please, 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 if you forget anything else I said, consider all areas of your life when you make your goals. Are you tired of this already? No. I already know it. I can go home anytime. I think some of you really need to take this to heart. If you reach your goal, the goals that you've set, and you become successful, have a breakthrough, and you lose your family, you lose your health, you lose your friends, you lose your relationship with God, what have you gained? Way too many people who are successful learned way too late that what they gained was not worth what they lost. They lost it. They didn't have time for God. They didn't have time for church. They didn't have time for family. Their kids grew up and were grown. And they never even knew they had kids. They were so busy. Remember every area of your life. You are a spiritual, mental, physical, emotional person. How do these goals that you set affect your family? How do they affect your health, your friends, your spiritual life? Some people can't go to church because they're too busy trying to be a success. Everybody take a break. Take a break and take a breath. Break down your goals into short-term and long-term. Some goals you can accomplish in a day. Some you take a week, some take a month, some take a year, and some of your goals may take years to accomplish. Number 3, manage your time. People say, well, I've got a time problem. I just don't have time to do it. No, you don't have a time problem. You have a time management problem. We all have 24 hours in our day. How can some people accomplish so much and others accomplish so little when everybody has the same amount of time? People who accomplish a lot have learned how to manage their time. According to research, this just blew my socks off. This is what research says. People spend 60% of their time thinking of the past. What happened in the past? They spend 20% of their time thinking about the present and 20% of their time thinking about the future. Most people spend so much time thinking about the past. What could have been? What happened? that they don't have any time to prepare for the future and where they're going. Now, we've all asked a question. I know I have. Where can I find the time to do all of the things that I need to do? I tell Joe every once in a while, I feel like a slug. I haven't gotten anything done today. How many times do I say that? Way too often. I just feel like a slug. Can't get anything done. Haven't done anything. Time is what life is made of. It is the very essence of life. It's time that makes it possible for us to achieve and accomplish things. And the fact is, we're all running out of time. You're only allotted so much time to accomplish the things that you need to do and want to do. It's frightening when we think about how much time we really waste. So what are you doing? I'm just killing time. How many's ever said it? Just killing time. What did time ever do to you to make you want to kill it? We kill time. And then we feel pressured because we don't have time to do the things that we want to do and things that need to be done. We should be spending time and investing time and enjoying the benefits of time, because once time is gone, you can't get it back. There is no more. Remember, if you don't manage your time, somebody else will manage your time. They will tell you what to do, when to do it, when to show up, when to leave. And you will spend your time helping someone else reach their goals instead of your own. Okay, take a breath. We're half through. Take a big, deep breath. I have to stop every once in a while and take a breath. Number 4, take a risk. If you're ever going to accomplish and improve the quality of your life, you're going to have to take a risk. You can't have a reward without accepting the responsibility that there's a risk involved. Now, Jeremy, he grew up, he didn't want to take a risk to do anything. And now then, he's taken so much, he scares me. And I'm fearless. He jumps off into areas, he goes and builds a hotel. He wanted to have a hotel. He tried to buy one, could never find one he wanted to buy. He said, I'll just build it. He goes to his banker. Now, he has a business, a drywall business. He's very successful. That's not enough. That debt is terrifying. There's some property comes available. He goes and buys it. It's got cabins all over the thing. Here's a guy that grew up not wanting to take a risk on anything. And now then he's up to his eyeballs in risk. But he's highly successful. The whiners of life always want to play it safe. The whiners of life want the reward without the risk. But remember, the greatest risk of all is not taking a risk. If you're going to accomplish anything, you need to take a risk. Number 5, change your attitude. How many know somebody needs to change your attitude? How many look at him every day in the mirror? Attitude is nothing more than your habit of thought. Now think. When you think certain thoughts long enough, they become your habits. And what happens in your mind will happen in time. So what you think over and over creates your attitude, and your attitude will determine what happens in your life. Your thought habits over a number of years creates what's called your personality. Personality is the outward expression of your inner attitudes. You've taken a giant step forward when you are willing to change your thoughts. You have a right to choose what you're going to think about. We have the right to think positive thoughts about ourselves, about the person we are and the person we would like to be. How many have some things in your life that needs to be changed? Well, think about it. Think about the things you want to accomplish. Remember what God told Joshua? Meditate on the word. Don't let it depart out of your mouth, and you will be prosperous and have good success in everything you do. In flying an airplane, now I know Dale, where is Dale? There he is, hiding behind the cameraman. He's got a plane and he flies. He's learning to fly. He's a pretty good pilot. But there is a term in flying. It says your attitude determines your altitude. Have you heard that statement? I'm not going to go into a lot of details about what all of that means. But that's also true in life. Your attitude, not your aptitude, determines your altitude. People do not have a good attitude because they're successful. They have a good attitude. It's why they're successful. That's also true with your family. People who have a good family and a successful family is because they have a good attitude about their family. They say good things about their family. Some of you need to change your attitude. You can become so burdened with thoughts of doom and gloom that you're ready to throw in the towel and quit. Give up. Some of you are so content, and I can't help but think of Bob when I talk about this. You get up every morning so you can go to work and come home, watch TV, so you can go to bed, and get up in the morning, go to work, so you can come home, watch TV, and go to bed, so you can get up in the morning, go to work. That's your life. How long had you worked for that one place?
42 years.
42 years. But he had a goal, and he saw an opportunity to achieve that goal. He had to leave that job and go to another one. Go to another place. after 42 years. That took courage. That took courage. Are you ready for number 6? You have to make a commitment. A commitment is that moment when you make a decision that you're going to do something. Now that is so critical. You can be motivated. You can have your goals set, have them written down. You can manage your time, be willing to take a risk. You can start working to change your attitude. But if you fail to make a firm commitment, you will never have a breakthrough and you will never become successful. I have met a lot of people who were educated up to their eyeballs, but they didn't have a commitment up to their toenails. They just couldn't make a commitment to do anything with their life. Let me ask a question, and I'm through. Have you made a commitment to be a follower of Jesus Christ? I'm not talking about there's a lot of people calling themselves Christians. They're Christians in name only. They do not do anything that God told us to do as Christians. But if you ask them, yes, I'm a Christian, they have been deceived because they walked the aisle, shook some preacher's soft hand, and he told them they're saved forever. Whatever they do, they're still a child of God. They've been deceived. I'm sorry if I messed up your theology. You better read the book. You better read the book. Not just take some denominational theology. Have you made a decision? I'm going to be a true follower of Jesus Christ and not just a Christian in name only. Most people already know more than what they're doing. I'm afraid that applies to me. We already know more than what we're doing. Remember the words, 2 words. You can. You, it describes who is responsible. That's you. Can is the possibility. You can.